if someone wants to do what you are doing or what I am doing, I think both you and me needed to let go a lot to do what we do today. So that's kind of a main key to unbecome everything that you're actually not. Remove mask after mask after mask until you feel like, this is pure me, you know?
The mask gets heavy. I think that's why people walk around like this on their phone, right? Because the mask is pulling them down into their phone. The phone, if you're not careful, all it does is gather unconscious evidence that the mask you're wearing is real. So the more you can actually vibrationally be attracted and allow yourself to go towards content like this, where we're talking about things that at first visual or audio might be a little scary, you might be like, whoa, they're weird. I welcome that. I welcome that weirdness because I want a straight neck. I don't want a text neck. I want to be good in my body. I want to feel good with my posture. So we can flip it back on me. What is woke versus awakened? I feel like when someone is truly awakened, the come from or the intention of why they're doing what they're doing feels fundamentally different than the come from of someone who is woke. So just because you have woken up doesn't mean that you're aware, truly aware of what is going on. And I would describe the difference between woke and awakened is that woke is seasoned with self-righteousness. When someone is woke, they are self-righteous about what they and everyone else should do. When someone is truly awakened, they're just being at peace with who they actually are and what's truly around them. And they're doing their best to navigate it and share from an authentic, vulnerable, loving place. That's awakening. But woke is so different because we have these parents woke parents that are, I mean, it crushes my heart to even feel it. It's so sad. Like they're allowing their young 10-year-old boy to castrate himself because he thinks he's a woman. It's the darkness you probably felt when you were considering leaving or staying on Earth. It's that same deep, dark energy that is masquerading as woke ideology, where these parents, with their supposed helping hand, are scarring their children for life. And this isn't a conversation specifically about this topic, but this topic came up because when I really close my eyes and I feel it, it's grief to the point that I can't even stay there too long because it's so overwhelming, the grief that I feel for these children with their woke parents. A truly awakened parent would never allow their child to harm themselves in the name of self-righteousness. They would never allow that to occur.
Yeah, so now you're kind of saying what I meant with spirituality and joy. So when you wake up, when you become awakened and you can really feel that, then you can also feel more in the world. And this is where you need boundaries, because you can't take on everything that you see and feel like, oh, that is happening there in the world. They are eating this. They are not sleeping right. That's happening. Like, and especially for you being in America, I can feel that it's even more, because you see more people that you would like to help in the space of wellness, of course. But it's so important to get back to that. The best work that you could ever do is to work on your joy and your presence and your own journey. Because if we go on and start to feel everything that is going on in the world, that is when we don't like spirituality. That is when we want to push it away because it feels too heavy, way too heavy.
That's when we're praying to the growth God, as Connor talked about. You brought up something really beautiful, and we've never talked about this on a podcast ever, which is why this is just a special moment. When I'm in the dark, when we're in the dark, it is so important to know that it is temporary. Because just that awareness alone, just the awareness that the darkness can be and is temporary, allows one to not get stuck. The awareness that all things are temporary, all things are fleeting, is actually the golden truth, the truly universal truth, the wholehearted truth that I think can block someone from ever getting stuck. I can remember in my past when I was going through massive depression, I used to ask my mentors and my therapist, I'd say, well, how long should I explore the darkness before I leave? How long should I allow myself to actually bathe in the pain body or bathe in the darkness before I leave? And you know what it really was? I didn't have the faculty, the emotional intelligence, or the self-trust to know that I can exit at any time. I can exit the darkness at any time I choose. I don't have to ever be stuck in the darkness. And paradoxically, the more I'm open to experiencing the darkness when it has something to teach me, that's power. Because then I never have to be in fear of the darkness, because I know that I can go into it and I know that I have the intelligence to leave at any time after I've received the lesson. That's really beautiful. I'm so glad that we touched on this, because I've never actually shared that on any podcast. And at 44 years old, it rings super true for me. Because in my 30s, I would never want to go to the darkness because I was afraid that I might get stuck. Because I didn't have the spiritual maturity to know that I can exit the darkness at any fucking time I choose. And there's peace in that. There's joy in that, because you can go through the darkness and celebrate your learnings on the other side. It's like, when you finish a marathon and you're covered in sweat, or you do something that's so hard physically, you feel so good when you're done. Well, it's the same way with spirituality. It's the same way with emotions. It's all the same, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I love that. And that's also like, what is it that you need to let go of first before letting go of the darkness, before being able to let go of the darkness? Victimhood.
I find it really, I want to push back on you. I find it really interesting that you said, I've never been a victim. How could that be humanly possible?
Of course, in others' eyes, I have been. But I have always been thinking that this life is happening for me. So whatever happens, whatever curveball happens, I'm always like, it doesn't matter if it's my mom, she got cancer, this is happening for a reason. Interesting. I wonder what the reason is in this. Not a tear. We were just, because my mom is super spiritual, so we were both just like, this is a lesson. What is it that we're going to get out of this? And the lesson in that was that our connection and her connection to her children and her daughters became so much more, deep on all levels. So we could see that very quickly. And with anything in life, I've always been like, no, this is happening for me. This too. Guy rejecting me. Thank you. Let's go.
In the moment, though, of rejection, it hurts. And you move through that hurt, right? You have a intelligence that allows you to move through the hurt. Because otherwise, there's a slippery slope where you could just be like, it's all love and light, which we know isn't true for you, because you already talked about Iron fucking Maiden. But it's really interesting for people to get stuck in there, because love and light can be the biggest mask that we wear. If you're wearing a mask of all love and light, get ready for more dark. You're going to attract that towards you.
Yeah, because it needs to be balanced out. You need both.
Hey, if you loved that clip you just saw, watch the full video. That clip was just a taste, just a piece, the tip of the freaking iceberg of what you just witnessed and what you just felt. Click the link on this screen, subscribe to the podcast, click the link on this screen if you're vibrating, if you're resonating, if you feel what I'm putting down.